Hello class, now we're just going to do a quick review of the map that we started in class yesterday. Looking at the geography of China. First we'll go over some of the labels on the map itself, and then we'll go over the question part of this. So we begin with question 1, looking at some of the seas. So we start up top here with the Sea of Japan. Below that is the Yellow Sea, the East China Sea as we make our way down, and then eventually we get down to the South China Sea before we move over towards India, where we will see the Bay of Bengal on the east coast of India, and as we move over to the west coast we see the Arabian Sea, and as we move towards the Middle East or Saudi Arabia, that section of the world, we see both the Persian Gulf and the Red Sea. Start transitioning our way back towards China itself again. Looking at question 2, we see the Plateau of Tibet, as well as the two major mountain ranges that are surrounding China. So up top, the Tian Shan, which borders part of Mongolia, and as well as the Himalayas, which separates our previously studied country India with China. We move east again and we see the two major rivers, the Huanghe as well as the Shangyang. The Huanghe in the north and the Shangyang obviously there in the south. Make our way northwards a little bit and we begin to look at the couple deserts that we were required to label. So we see above the Plateau of Tibet the Taklamakan. It's a little blurry and I apologize, but that is where that's located. And move eastward again and we see the Gobi Desert. Next we're going to make our way down to a potential sea route from the Shangyang River. As you see, we take this off the east coast, we move south to the South China Sea, and we cut through Indonesia and Malaysia and across the Bay of Bengal, and we eventually get to the southern part of India. That was a common trade route, and they would trade with the Philippines, Indonesia, making their way over to India, where goods would eventually be shipped over to Europe. So now we're looking at the question number 1, the 3 important island chains that China may have been trade partners with. So first we saw Japan, second there is Taiwan. Taiwan is viewed as part of China for the most part, so that is not considered one. The Philippines right there is. And finally down below here we see Indonesia. Indonesia was a major trading port, especially places like Java and Malacca. Next we make our way up to why sea trade would appeal as opposed to trade over land, and we see the Plateau of Tibet as well as the mountains and the deserts made it extremely tough to cross China successfully. So either be extremely dry and arid in the desert, or the plateaus and mountains would be of high elevation, over 10,000 feet in most places, which made it extremely difficult to try and attempt to travel. Next we'll begin to make our way east, and we see the two major rivers again. Oh, move down south. So here again we're kind of highlighting the sea route, emphasizing why it would be more beneficial as opposed to overland. Next we move up to question number 6, I believe. Yep, and that was just when we were locating North Korea and South Korea on the peninsula. As you see here, One of the reasons why it'd be so hard to govern a united China is because how big it is. It's far bigger than India. If you look at a lot of China's bordering countries, much bigger than those. So in order to control such a vast land mass, it really requires a organized and non-corrupt bureaucracy, which in many times was not possible inside of China. We saw that the Han Dynasty was able to do it successfully, but that wasn't the case for all the dynasties. Lastly, we zoom in on question number 8, Mongolia. That is where Kublai Khan was from, and often the Mongols were the ones who raided China. And we know with the Yuan Dynasty, I think in the 13th century, that is the time where foreigners actually ruled China. So that kind of takes us through our questions. If you guys have any further questions for me, feel free to ask, and I hope you enjoyed the kind of quick review of our map. Take care.